Hey, there you go, Clayton. I like that, buddy.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Oh man, I'm all gun to my own show. I got one pistol. Marty's got the rack. Clay's got the Kalashnikov.
What man can't have is too many guns.
Nope, I can't disagree with that.
Hey, well, welcome to episode 24. You believe that already, Jamie? 24 episodes. This will be a
wow, it's awesome, man. Hey,
that?
Awesome. It's
January
awesome.
11th. But as always, before we get going here, we're going to start with the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I just can't, I say it every time, I just can't be more clear on that it's probably the most important amendment in our Constitution, because without the Second Amendment, and I know Marty agrees with me on this one, there is no other ones. The others don't exist. So,
well, it can be clear. Just ask a leftist, which we're going to talk about real shortly here.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. I see a sweet comment right there right away. Mark Dibble, hey, just purchased himself a 6.5 Creed a few hours ago. That is freaking awesome, Mark. I got a 6.5. I love it. I think
there's
you're gonna love it
nothing like purchasing a gun and then listening to Guns in a 701. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Awesome.
Clayton,
yes.
I got one better. I was under my bed there looking through all my ammo that I got stacked under there, and you know what I found?
What's that?
I found a 9mm Springfield that I don't remember buying. Like the best Christmas present ever. I was like, when did I buy this gun?
You know, perfect. I'm not gonna lie. I've done that, and I'm like, gosh, I don't remember when I got that one. And it's like, oh, yeah, I just haven't used it in a while. So I guess, yeah, it's just like a pleasant surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I tell you what you guys are doing is amazing, and you know, like you said, without the Second Amendment, the other ones are just paper. We need that to protect them, and I don't think it's ever been clearer. You can look at Brazil and what's happening with the Second Amendment, and it's a horrible, horrible situation down there.
Oh, absolutely. There's some bad things going on down there right now, and I really do. I feel for them guys, because I don't know what's going to happen down there. I got a pretty good idea, but I mean, they don't have no guns no more, and we know what happens when you lose your guns. So prayers with all them people that are on that front line.
Yeah. So I got something real quick. Now, before I get going, I just got to say happy birthday to my stepfather, Scott Odegaard. I know he's listening. I appreciate it, Scotty. He's probably sucking on, he's probably having a little wine tonight listening to us. But so in his first, Bolsonaro was the president of Brazil, and he kind of came in there with the same kind of gusto that Trump did, and you know, he was all about freedom, and he loosened all the gun restrictions and wanted the people to defend themselves against all the thugs down there in this high crime rate with guns. But when this Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, his first act when he was last Sunday, when he was newly installed president there, his first act was freezing gun ownership and banning the sale of new ammunition. Not his 10th act or his 20th, but his first. That is a freaking tyrant right there, right off the bat.
Oh, absolutely. That's what they all are. I mean, that's just what they all are. So I'll tell you what, before we get going too, guys, I want to introduce Marty Beard for those of you guys that don't know Marty. He's just a great patriot here in North Dakota. I've known him for several years now. I know Jamie has. Used to attend NRA banquets as well, and I can't say enough about Marty. He's always the guy that will be there, and trust me, when the time comes, he'll be right there on the front line with us.
That I have no doubt.
Well, and I appreciate you guys, but Lula originally banned the guns went way back in 2004. So the original gun banner is now back in almost 20 years. That they lost their gun rights. The people voted in 2000 their gun rights, and in 2005 Lula signed executive order that confiscated all weapons in Brazil. So that's how that goes. That's the history there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what happens, guys. Elections have consequences, and especially when they're not fair elections. I caught your segment on Beck Communications with Ladies of Another View, Marty, and I thought you described that perfect. And why don't you give us a little rundown of what the comparisons you found between our elections and their elections?
Well, my history with Brazil is I've got as close as my brothers down there in Brazil, and they've got my hounds down there and protect their ranches with dogs that they've gotten from me. So and up here, and they saw that we had this free access to weapons. They just did, and I mean, they grew up in a culture since 2004. These are younger kids, no gun culture, and I mean, it was unbelievable. But yeah, the crime that has taken place in Brazil is so close to the States with our election. Biden won by 51%. Lula had 51%. Bolsonaro had 49%. Fix these elections aren't even smart enough. Not only that, Clay and Jamie, but we're talking about a guy that was in prison for laundering against his country, and the powers that be prison in 21, and he ran for president of Brazil, who they have now. So I mean, it's worldwide corruption.
Yep, and I think it's all part. Well, we've all heard the term the Great Reset, and it's happening, guys. This ain't conspiracy theory stuff.
Yeah.
You can just look around and see what's happening everywhere, and that's what it is. That's part of it.
Marty's kind of breaking up there, Clay. You can just put him on audio and see if that works a little better.
Let's see what I can do here.
Sorry, Marty. I know you got a pretty face, but we got to try something. People are texting me, and we're getting it on the side here, but yeah. So it's a little more on this Bolsonaro and the homicide rate and everything down there. So in 2019, when Bolsonaro became president, Brazil had one of the highest homicide rates in any developed country. And of course, the international media was all over him for having seduced tens of millions of the voters down there with simple and radical solutions to eradicating violence, which his solution was give guns to good people, let people have guns so that they have the chance to defend themselves. And somehow that was supposed to be some crazy idea. Right. But and Marty, I think you know a little bit about how the crime rate actually dropped down there, right? When people had the guns when he was president?
Dropped 34%, and that is according to liberal media. So words I'm getting in from my friends in Brazil tell me that it's actually much higher than where they're at. They can actually, after dark without worrying about getting robbed or ransomed or whatever the card. But as well as I do, when the liberal media says 34 or 50% crime drop.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So his reforms, according to Real Clear Politics, produced a 600% increase in gun ownership, yet homicides in Brazil plummeted. So, it's like you said, it was a 34% drop when he got in there, and a 600% increase. Yeah, of course they said, I think it was just coming down anyways. So I don't know how anything to do with the guns. Yeah. So when criminals, I'm sure that didn't have anything to do with it. When a criminal knows he's going to rob somebody or do something bad, and he's in good possibility of them getting shot, they're not going to do it. So,
no.
Yeah, and the sad part of it is hunting. All hunting in Brazil was. My friends that have my hounds had to illegally on ranches with from jaguars and cougars, in the wild hog situation, they couldn't do anything about it and ball back to them. So they not only gave them guns, but some.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happening here. I think we lost Marty. Oh, there he looks like he's back. But I went ahead and turned my camera off to hopefully it seemed like it's working better on your guys' end.
It's not, Clay.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
Well, I'll
not.
tell you
Well,
what. Here's something
I'm
I want to go ahead,
Marty,
Marty.
can you get that little mic and put it closer to kind of hold it up by your mouth once to see if that does a little something different? Not your earbud.
coming in
It's the
through.
mic that.
How about where's that at?
It's right on the inline. There's a little rectangle thing right in the inline wire in your beard, actually.
We're going to have to build a studio over at have the guns in a
How
701
about that?
Studio 3. There you go.
Give that a go.
Maybe there was just too much hair on it.
Maybe.
Yeah, it is
Well,
a problem.
Let me know if it's not working, because I'm gonna check out then, because your guys isn't in mine. So if I'm ruining your show, I want to know.
Well, I do want to try one thing here. I couldn't convert your video that you sent to me and make it play on here, but I'm going to see if I can hold this up here. I don't know if it'll work. It might. And we're going to play this. This is what was the name of these guys that sent this to you, Marty?
Well, that's Roberto Washmooch. He's from Brazil. Really good friend of mine. And
okay, well, let's play this and see if it'll come through. I don't know if it will. We'll try this.
You don't
Should.
have any guns, no guns, just hands. The last government, they took off all the guns. We don't have guns.
So that was one video.
Hey, Marty, in 2 hours, I will be there in Brasilia. Me and my friends. Woo! Yeah. Going to the war.
Going to the war.
Fighting for my people, fighting for my family, and for my freedom. Yeah.
So did you hear that, guys? No guns. They're heading to Brazilian. This was what, this weekend when he sent you this, or Monday? I think it was Sunday. Monday. Okay. Heading to fight for their freedoms with no guns. Heading to the war, as he puts it. Wow. Talk about a set of cojones.
With a smile on his face.
With a smile on his face. And from what I understand, he's got a family at home, right, Marty?
yeah, he's sad. Part of it is Clay and Jamie. We don't know where he is. He's missing right now. Is more than likely, his wife told me, is more than likely makeshift prison in Brasilia, and he is trying to make it everybody that was there and throwing him in makeshift prisons. And
Wow.
20,000 reals to get out and wait 1,000 US cash.
Wow.
You know, they don't let you pay with a credit card, or that's what's going on.
Yeah, they want you to pay everything else with a credit card, but not to get your ass out of jail.
Well, and this is an exact, guys, this can happen here. People don't think that can ever happen here. Look around you right now and tell me that it can't happen. We got guys that have been in jail over a year because they were part of January 6th exercising their rights.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of videos out there and things showing that the building was opened up. Beside the point, they're sitting in jail, haven't had their due process, getting sentences that are worse than drug dealers and murderers, all because it's to send a clear message to us, the people. Don't do it. We'll come after you with everything we got.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm even more of a gonna happen. There's no doubt in my mind when and where, and I think everybody's going to have to draw your line. Are you going to draw your line right at your door, or are you going to draw your line next year? Well, that's going to be too late. You're going to need to draw it a lot quicker, and then when you draw it, don't back off from it.
Nope.
I hate to say it, Marty. We might have to cut you off because
cut me off. Keep that show going. You guys are doing great. I'll try out someday. No, I won't. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Marty. We enjoyed having you.
Thanks, Marty.
We'll just have to get a better connection one of these days.
Yep. Clay and I got to figure something out with that. But
Take it
thanks,
easy,
Marty. Appreciate you, buddy. So, yeah, Clayton, Tell you what, we're 7:17 here. Why don't we go to an extreme profits timeout here?
I think that's appropriate, don't you?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, here we go.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call, 701-258-6308.
And I just stopped in when I was up there on Friday and visited with Axe and the boys. We had a little fun. We even met someone, Jamie, that knock anybody out, remember?
Yeah, he did. Joe something. I don't know. He's tough hombre, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he definitely was a talkative individual.
I was kind of scared that if Dougie didn't fix that car right, we might be dragging him out of there. But
yeah, we might have had to jump in, right?
Yeah, no, we'd have got knocked out too, I guess.
You always back your buddy's move, whether it's wrong or right.
yeah, right.
But no, you know what's going on down there in Brazil. It's something I hope everybody's watching it. I know people think, oh, that's down South America. We ain't got to worry. We do need to worry. We need to worry. It is a big deal. It can happen here. They want it to happen here. And Marty was right when he's talking about you need to. Where is your line in the sand? You need to ask yourselves that. Where is your line? I can tell you, they're damn near at it. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't want it to go there, but like I've been saying for years, I'd rather fight this battle than have to have my kids do it.
And I promise you this, Joe Biden agrees with everything Lula's doing.
Oh, he loves it. He wishes he could do it here. And not just Joe Biden, all the commies that are in the administration.
When Marty said that it dropped 34%, I'm going to elaborate a little more on it because he was kind of cutting out. But so in 2018, the year before, what the heck did I say his name was? The president.
Hey, to interrupt you, Doug said we were good. The 45 wasn't too far away.
Okay. In 2018, the year before Bolsonaro was president, the murder rate, which we said was 27. Here's a little different number on it. The murder rate was 27.8 per 100,000 people. That was 5.5 times higher than the rate here in the U.S., right?
Okay.
But it fell in each consecutive year. By 2021, the third year of Bolsonaro's presidency, remember, he upped gun ownership 600% there.
Yep.
It had dropped to 18.5 per 100,000.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Increased gun ownership and crime goes down. Oh, what a novel idea.
Wow. Oh,
And the thing is, it's the same result every time you try it. It works. Hey, Eric, there we go, Kelsey. My line was about 10 feet back. Maybe mine, I can tell you right now, I'm there. I really am.
I think they do, Gene. Does Brazil have mail-in ballots, he asks.
I don't know. I know they had problems with their machines. And from what I understand, I caught a little clip today when I was watching a deal that said something about the people there that are in Brasilia, which is capital. They're protesting and they want the ballots. They want to count them. They want the stuff. And we'll see where this goes. The mainstream isn't doing what Travis say here.
I missed your good comments, Trav. Joe Biden makes for a better, stronger America.
We're glad to have you back, Travis.
Oh yeah. So all right, Clay, we're talking about gun ownership. Why don't we take this to Nashville, Tennessee, shall we? Real quick here.
I think that's a good idea. Let me find it here. So go ahead and lead it in. I'll put up the graphic on this.
Okay. Nashville, Tennessee, we got Senator Becky Duncan Massey, Republican of Knoxville. She wants to knock $30 off the cost for someone taking a first-time gun safety course.
Yeah.
Yep. And she go ahead, Clayton.
Well, basically, yeah, and evidently they're going to take it from this $100 enhanced gun carry permit that they already have, and that's how she's going to do it. So it's not going to be a and increased anybody's taxes, things like that. It's money that they already have. And basically, if people want to take the first time handgun safety course, they'll reimburse them $30 for that safety course and get it done and get more people out there. I don't know. I don't think that's a bad idea necessarily.
I don't either. She says we just wanted to make sure that money wasn't a deterrent if someone was going to, be using guns in their state and carrying guns around.
Right. And yeah, and that's just what that's exactly what it is. It's not a deterrent anymore because
Mm-hmm.
$30 to a lot of people, I know that sounds cheap, right? But to some people, that's a major hit to their budget. I mean, there are people that live like that. Their fault, not their fault, whatever their circumstances may be, but it shouldn't hinder them from the right to protect themselves. And I think that's what this whole thing is about for her.
And poor people, poor people definitely need guns to defend themselves because they usually live in rougher neighborhoods, and then the crime rate's usually higher in those parts. And that doesn't matter what color you're, white, black, whatever. I mean, that's just a fact of life. So those people shouldn't be, if you're working a minimum wage job and you got a kid at home or kids or whatever, and I mean, you shouldn't. I think this would be a good idea for somebody like that for sure.
I do.
There is some opposition to it. The Tennessee Firearms Association. He said he opposed it. They tried it once before. He opposed it then, and he opposed it now. He said he's not against gun safety, but doesn't think the state should pay for it. It raises the question of what's the objective, what's the agenda for these legislators to even offer it. It's a solution in search of a problem, according to this guy. I mean, I disagree with that, but.
And he says that the taxpayer shouldn't pay for it. They're not. They already collected the money from other people that are involved in this and are wanting to have their enhanced permit. So it's actually going back in to get more people in there to enjoy their Second Amendment right to carry. It's not really costing the taxpayers anything.
Mm-hmm.
They've already collected the money. It's not, like I said, it's not a net gain in tax expenditures. It's actually going to just be offset by that $100 fee that's already being collected. If you really want to say, maybe the other gun owners shouldn't be paying for it, but I don't think the other gun owners are probably going to care about that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, furthermore, I guess I don't have a problem spending money on helping people exercise their rights.
I don't either. If you're exercising your Second Amendment, that's just fine. They waste money in a ton of other ways.
And my guess is a lot of people in Knoxville who own guns, even though they're in Tennessee, probably didn't grow up with them. And I guess I don't have a problem. What's all these numbers on here? I'm looking at the comment.
Well, let's go through the comments quickly. Travis wants Brazilian dollars.
He's mad because Marty had to get cut off. I'm sorry, Travis.
I know.
Trust me, if you listen to the podcast and the voices are cut, I mean, I wish we could have done. If we ever get this dialed in with a guest, we'll.
I think it was more on Marty's end, honestly. I really do.
Well, next time we'll get Marty sitting. He can sit right here with me.
There we go.
And we'll do it right here.
We'll just have to do a show where I come up and we just have all of us right there for a change. So, quick deal, Keith. I did see the Illinois law that passed. They did it in the dark of the night. Once again, that's their big bad assault weapons ban, which I'm telling you right now, everything that's in that has already been overturned and upheld at the Supreme Court level of that. Essentially, the things they put in there, this will probably have to go through a court battle. I have no doubt. They know that too. And when it does, it's going to make it all the way through and go up to the Supreme Court and come out probably with the exact same decisions that we've seen recently, which it's good and bad. There's a lot of dollars going to be wasted and a lot of time going to be wasted. But in the end, it'll give us a precedent to actually go on everything else. And it'll just strengthen, in my opinion, the Second Amendment. And not only that, it's going to tell these commie states, hey, listen, you guys are infringing out in California. You're infringing in Illinois. You're infringing in New York. And name your state that's doing it. And it probably will overturn all that. What's that?
It's common sense, Clay. It's not
common sense. Yeah.
All right, night, Trav. He's out of here.
I see that.
He's mad. He's mad. Hope he'll be back next week.
All right. Yeah. Kevin. Yeah, you know what? He says, all I can say is I'm not the only one that has already been pushed way too far. You're right. You're not the only one. It's out there. I can tell you it's getting bigger. The group of people is getting bigger. I don't know when it'll happen. I don't even know. I don't know if whoever the next president is, whether it's Trump or DeSantis or any other Republican, right now, I don't know if it's going to matter. That it's a sad fact. I just don't know if it's going to matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, like Clay always says, keep your powder dry.
Mm-hmm. Have plenty of it. Keep your powder dry and make sure you own every caliber that your enemy owns. You'll never run out of ammo.
So what going off of what Clay was just talking about there, this is going to the court. Last Friday, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals invalidated the ATF's rule classifying bump stocks as machine guns.
Yeah, interesting ruling.
Yeah.
Then there's AmmoLand had two articles on this. This is one of them, and this was the striking down of the bump stock ban. And this is the interesting thing about this, guys. It ain't so much the bump stock. The bump stock is the vehicle for the court case that they finally took. And I'll give you this: Gun Owners of America took this case. I know they've been involved in it. I don't think NRA got involved in it. Honestly, I know that they backed out early, and I don't think they got on board, which is fine. But I can tell you right now, it went to that Fifth Circuit Court, which is, by the way, Trump, I believe, put a lot of people on that one. It was a 13-3 decision. Think about that. 13-3. That's a pretty overwhelming message to states and to everywhere.
Yeah. Here's what they said. The Fifth Circuit ultimately held that a bump stock does not meet the federal definition of a machine gun because it does not allow the firearm to discharge multiple rounds by a single action of the trigger, and the ATF's rule is not in accordance with the law. Right.
And also, they cited the fact that the ATF had already stated that several times before they made this other ruling. So what changed? Nothing, really. And it just comes down to it that this is going to have more implications. I mean, the implications are going to be far-reaching past bump stocks and guns, guys. What they're saying here, and this will most likely be appealed again, it now will move up through the court system and probably head to the Supreme Court. And I'm sure you're going to see a favorable ruling based on the last two decisions saying, nope, ATF, you have overstepped your boundaries. You are, and that's what this whole opinion says.
Yeah.
You are an executive branch. The executive branch ATF falls under that branch. They're just to execute the law as passed. You can't start making laws within the ATF or any other alphabet agency like they've been doing. I could see this, if this makes it all the way to the Supreme Court, or if they let it stand, either way. I'm going to tell you that you're going to see things like what they just did with the waters of the U.S., WOTUS, if people aren't familiar with that, basically trying to regulate every puddle, creek, stream that's there, isn't there, partially there on your private land, saying that they have all jurisdiction as a federal government. That comes from an alphabet agency, and I'm telling you right now, this case could have implications there because it's the same premise. The federal government, they do not have any kind of jurisdiction there, and you can't legislate from an alphabet agency in the executive branch. There's got to be that separation of judiciary, legislatively, and executive. This is a big case, guys. It really is. And it's going to have far-reaching effects.
And they kind of went into a case that they've squarely rejected, like Clay said, they were called three-letter agencies years ago, but that purports to allow the ATF rather than Congress to set forth these laws. And there was a case in what the heck was it called here? I got it written down somewhere, but I can't find it. But at any rate, 200 years ago, they even said these agencies can't override Congress in making laws. And I remember when this first passed.
You and I talked about it actually.
Yeah. I told Clay, I'm like, no
big deal,
fun, whatever. But I was like, I wish they just did it in Congress and got it done that way. But so that's going back, what you said about the NRA right here, directly from the NRA's website, the court decision tracks the argument that the NRA ILA made an amicus brief filed in this case. So they were actually on board.
They filed a support brief. Okay.
Right. So, I mean, was it actually confirmed that the NRA was on board with banning these? Because I know I heard the rumors. I'm not saying they weren't.
They weren't on board when this all happened. They weren't on board with it, but they didn't fight it, I guess is That's probably the way to put it?
Yeah. I mean,
It was a fight
they
that they
weren't
couldn't
real
win at that
outspoken
time.
against it. Yeah.
I can tell you right now, they weren't going to even win that because Trump was okay with it. And let's not forget that and
Mhm.
it was that Trump was the guy, and it was an emotional thing, guys. He was brand new president essentially, and he was taking some bad advice, in my opinion, and he went forth with it. So, hey, there's some guys chiming in on this. I want to address a couple of
Okay.
these. So,
Yeah, go for it.
Brian, you're right. The court won't stay forever, but right now, look how long it took to get rid of the abortion Roe versus Wade. With good decisions, they have a lot more chance of staying there and
Hold
being
on a
that,
minute, Clay.
that precedent.
Hold your
Yes.
thought right there.
Yep.
Didn't get rid of abortion. You can
Nope.
still do it in states. It was a 10th Amendment right. The decision to let abortion be legal is back to the
Went to-
states, which it should have been because abortion is not explicitly mentioned in the Bill of Rights. All right.
Absolutely.
Baba, you may proceed.
You're absolutely right. You make a good point there. Just pointing out that is not in the Constitution of the United States. We do have a Second Amendment, so this wouldn't be a states' rights issue, even in the fact that they just can't do it. It's just you can't do it, and that's what they're saying.
Mhm.
The only way to do it is through Congress. Period.
Yep.
All right. So then you got Keith here. Keith has one in here. He says, just like all the BS executive orders Biden signed. Absolutely. They're not. And they are not law. Even the ones Trump did. No president that signs an executive order, it's not law. Now, they treat it as law. They carry it the weight of law. So if you end up going to court, it's going to depend on what judge or what jury or what court you're in, whether you win the battle or have to appeal it. Because, again, they're not law. So, again, we have this problem. It's that cloudy gray area
Mhm.
of an executive branch overstepping. I hate executive orders no matter who does them.
Yeah, well, and that if memory serves, hold the phone. Hold on, I'm gonna read Kelsey's comment here. Hold the phone. Y'all mean to tell me unelected bureaucrats don't have the power to make law? Question mark?
Oh,
Yeah.
imagine.
I was just gonna say, remember when they were riding Trump hard about his XOs, and then I think Biden had like 4 times as many as Trump did.
Yeah,
Boy, that was
that right
great
away.
though. But I mean,
Oh.
Biden's are just totally perfect. I mean, they make
Yeah.
sense.
Well,
Common
half of
sense,
them were
man.
undoing everything Trump did, I think.
God's sake, it's common sense.
Yeah, common sense. And Marty, you're right. Weak ass politicians that we put our faith in are to blame.
Yep.
And we are guilty, and the politicians that we put there are guilty. I think finally, people are finally starting to take an interest. Is it too late? It may be. I don't know. I mean,
We'll
I'm not
see.
gonna just start firing guns at this moment. But I can tell you right now, talking's about done because you can't get nowhere with what's happening. I don't
Yeah.
trust the elections at all, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in that camp.
Well, not
either.
only that, Clay. If you can't sit down and have dinner with these freaking people, how are you going to have a country with them? I mean, come on.
You can't,
Come on.
and that's what's happened. Well, I'll tell you
So
what, it's bottom of the hour here. Why don't we take another quick break here? We'll try to stay on a little bit of
Yeah.
a schedule.
Yeah, and I got one quick thing to add after that. Let's do it, buddy.
Yep, sounds good. Here we go.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call, 701-258-6308.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. All right. Once again, we want to make sure we thank our sponsors. Doug over there at Lauer Auto, he does a fantastic job. Because I was just in there Friday, looking at my Dodge to see if we can't bring that back to looking a little bit more normal. And I know, Jamie, you just had some work done down there, and it's
Oh
running
yeah,
like a
yeah.
top.
Nissan had a little problem with my heat in there. It wasn't blowing heat, and Doug got that baby fixed up. I love it. It's blowing heat real nice.
Oh yeah, do a
And
great job.
I'd also say you go in and you patronize the businesses that our supporters here, our sponsors. Make sure you tell them that you appreciate them sponsoring shows like this, and you love it that they're Second Amendment supporters. It only helps out me and Clay, and it's good to hear because
And
if they're not here and we're helping them, guess where they go?
And if you need some great blinds, there's always the blind guy. Talk to Wyatt over there, and they do fantastic work as well. And I know Jamie's even helped them out. So, like I said, when the weather gets a little nicer, get into spring here, me and Eric might have to bring him down here and look at our two homes.
Oh yeah,
then that'll be a good reason for you to come down and help, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for
for sure.
Like a goal.
So a little more on this ATF thing. The ATF.
I gotta put that one up.
Yeah.
Kevin, I'm sure Axe appreciates that and understands. If you ever get out here to North Dakota though, and you break down, we know where we can take your vehicle.
yeah, for sure. It's a good place. You get some good BSing in there too.
Oh yeah.
So the
man that
ATF
knocked out Virgil Hill.
Yeah, he might be in there. Yeah, you learn how to throw a knockout punch.
Anyway.
So the ATF now has to decide if they want to appeal the Fifth Circuit's decision to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is not really. So if you're wondering what this case is called, it's called Cargill versus Garland. Garland is the leftist scumbag who's the attorney general to this great country.
Yeah, I remember Obama tried to put him in there. I don't know if anybody
he's middle
remembers
of the road. Hey, he called him.
And he even said, he's not going to take your guns away. He's not going to do any of these things. It's the first thing he started doing.
Massive anti-gunner.
I mean, the guy, that's what his whole career was based out of. And, of course, he tried to appoint him. And then, of course, evidently we had the senators with a spine back then. And we were able to stop that. And, of course, the new Congress took its session that following year. So it didn't happen. But, unfortunately, they had the votes and even some worthless rhino defectors in the Senate that went ahead and voted for this guy.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham. If I remember right, Collins did. Probably Marcos.
They won the election, so I'm just going to go along. So when we win, I expect them to do the same for me.
Well, what torqued me off was
Lindsey Graham impression, anyways. There,
leaky Lindsey Graham. What torques me off is when I talk to people like Thune and Kramer and Hovind, which Hovind, you know my opinion of that guy. And you talk to him about these things like, well, it's the president's, they get the obligation to appoint who they want. That's right. They do. That is his job. It's not the Senate's job to give it a rubber stamp. They serve at the pleasure of the president. Absolutely. But the checks and balances is in the Senate. And that's how the Constitution was wrote. And if the senators, the majority of them, see it coming like that, you deny it. That is how that's supposed to work. You don't just rubber stamp it and give the president the keys. No. I mean, what if that had been somebody with the name Hitler? Would they say, oh, you know what, that guy's a pretty good guy. Should we go ahead and approve him just because the president won the election? No, they wouldn't.
Elections have consequences, Clayton. Elections have consequences.
They absolutely do. They absolutely do. Anyway,
that was Lindsey again. Didn't you catch that?
Yeah, freaking Lindsey Graham. What is wrong with them people? Can't they get rid of that guy? Jeez.
I don't know. South Carolina, man. It sounds like a great state. But so speaking of South Carolina, I'm gonna go over to that region of the country here. Unless you want to read a couple of these comments here.
Yeah, well, Keith brought one in here. He goes, there's only about 20 Patriots left in the house. And we saw it. Guys, another thing. I wish people would pull this document out and actually read the damn thing. I know it pretty well. Does anyone realize that this wasn't chaos? This wasn't a fracture. This is how it's supposed to work. That's why it's in place. That's why it happens. And it worked perfectly as far as that goes. I didn't want McCarthy. But I can tell you right now, those 20 detractors, as they called them, those 20 Patriots that stood their ground for so long until they got pretty much, I tell you what, I was kind of combing through that rules package. Yep. We did pretty darn good. And it's going to tie the hands of the rhinos. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
And the chairmanships that you're going to see in some of these committees, they're getting rid of them freaking like the towel head in Minnesota and some of these other commie scumbags off these committees. It's just great to watch their heads explode
Yep.
because they're getting
Oh, yeah.
eliminated. So we did gain. We really did. And right now, they can hold McCarthy's feet to the fire. They really
Yeah,
can.
that's what's they can
And-
basically they can make them
Yep.
stay to the beliefs of what's written down the Republican Party's about.
And I tip my hat to them 20. Unfortunately, old Alfred E. Newman, Dusty Johnson in South Dakota, and Kelly Armstrong, they both went with the swamp because evidently they're more worried about excelling and gaining more power and moving up the ladder because that's all they know what to do, I guess,
To be fair,
rather than
so
actually
did-
representing the people.
so did DJT.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Donald Trump. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Donald Trump was on the phone last night with Just the News on Real America's Voice. You know, what he did say made sense as to what was going on there. He was, he said he was really concerned about a Democrat getting in there. I was not. Guys, the Democrats
wasn't.
finally
I
had
knew that wasn't
200.
gonna happen.
That was never going to happen. They had their 212 votes pretty consistently. And if one of them Republicans, they would have taken 6, would have detracted and went with that, you just might have seen shots fired finally because we know what would have happened. So, nah, I wasn't worried about that at all. But, you know, he was wrong on this, I think. But, you know,
Yeah.
McCarthy's in there. At least we got, as Trump put it last night, we did get a really good deal. You know, he's the deal maker.
Yeah,
But
it is a good deal. It was a good deal. And I'm
it's
glad
probably
they
the
did it.
best. It's probably the best set of rules I've seen in the modern Congress since I've been following it.
Yeah.
And I actually have more disdain for a guy like Newt Gingrich. He was nothing but a freaking swamp dweller. You know, he had the New Deal when he came out with it, which was not that great either. And he thinks he did so much, but he was just another swamp dweller. You know what, Newt? Shut up. You're gone. We're glad you're gone. No, stay
I've
away.
never really been a Newt fan, but
I never liked Newt. So anyway, my rant over.
So we were talking about South Carolina. I'm gonna take this back over to North Carolina. So on the opening day of the 117th Congress, U.S. Representative Richard Hudson, District 8, North Carolina, introduced H.R. 38, the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. The bipartisan, oh God, that makes it really good, right? Legislation has
right?
Oh, okay. I didn't even catch this. Has a record 154 original co-sponsors. That's pretty good.
Yes.
He says our Second Amendment rights do not disappear when we cross state lines, and HR 38 guarantees that. The Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act is a common sense solution. There you go, Joe. That is real common sense to provide law-abiding citizens the right to conceal carry and travel freely between states without worrying about conflicting state codes or onerous civil suits. I agree. That's awesome. That is really awesome, actually. Because, and listen, down here, I was reading further into this. Okay, remember when everybody is butthurt about Trump? He said we were going to get reciprocity. He's such a damn liar. I'll never vote for him again, right? Okay, listen to this now. So those people who believe that. Hudson introduced the Concealed Carry Act in previous years. In December 2017, the bill passed the U.S. House by a vote of 231 to 198. Yet, okay, here's a key point, Clayton, was not taken up in the U.S. Senate. Wait a minute.
Right.
I thought it was Trump. I thought Trump was a big asshole here who didn't pass that.
Yeah, imagine that, huh?
Okay. So anybody who didn't catch that, or you're going to listen on the podcast and you can't chew my ass out in the comments here because you hate Trump. The Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act passed when Trump was president. It went to the Senate. Mitch McConnell wouldn't let that baby come to the floor for a vote. So it's not Trump's fault that we don't have national reciprocity. It's Mitch McConnell's fault. So please stop with this bullshit about Trump being this big anti-gun president because he said he was going to give us concealed carry and he didn't.
Yeah, and that's McConnell. That is McConnell. This guy is a commie. He sold us out. Well, he just got done selling us out right before the end of the year. And I put that up here for you guys to read. That's right off of Richard Hudson's website. Now, doesn't have a chance in hell of passing. The House probably, but not in the Senate. Yeah. And Biden would never sign it, so you'd need 2/3 to override it.
But hey, you know what, Clay?
I tip my hat to him.
I want it to pass out of the House anyways because I want people to be accountable for voting against our Second Amendment rights.
That's right.
It's the right to keep and bear arms. Bear means you got it on you at all times.
That's right. And
To quote
I think it's a good idea. Of course, I love constitutional carry, but
Mhm.
it's little steps, guys. We went through this at the state level. Now I just looked. All 50 states have some form of concealed carry. You
Mhm.
guys know that?
It's
All
awesome.
50 states. Now, places like California and New York, they have it, but it's pretty impossible to get unless you know somebody who knows somebody type deal.
Mhm.
Pretty much a celebrity or imagine this, a government official, then you're okay. So they do have it. And I think the last count was like 25 states now have constitutional carry. That's
Yep.
outstanding. And that's been over literally 20 years, guys. I've been involved with it.
To go
But it
back to
was
some Eddie Murphy there. Half, Eddie. I want half.
half. Oh my goodness. Bringing back some oldies there. So, but yeah, Gene, you're right. McConnell has to go. Mitch McConnell has to go. I'm not sure
Man.
he's going to run again. I think this is his last term. I really do.
I mean, the only way that guy's going is either he's going to croak there and they're going to carry him out on the spine board, or he's going to retire. I don't know he's ever getting out of there.
Yeah, I think he's going to retire next time. I really do.
You better put that comment up of Marty's there. I like that to Kevin.
All right, we got it right here. You can stay with me when you go to Laura's, and we'll chase some bobcats with my hound. And I think Kevin would enjoy that a lot, guys.
Get your running shoes on,
I'm
Kevin.
telling
Marty
We
gets
are-
in that elk trot. He's hard to keep up with when he's on the trail.
We are going to make a Marty Beard Guns in the 701 coon hunt or something happen over there. That is going to happen.
It's got to happen, doesn't
Maybe
it?
we'll do a drawing and take one of our listeners, huh?
Yeah.
Kinda
Kevin,
fun.
you might have to come out if you win that one. So a little more on Hudson here.
Yeah.
He actually he was leading. He led a letter to the U.S. Attorney General and ATF, urging him to withdraw the proposed rule of the pistol braces, which they did in 2020, but now it's back. So
now it's back. Yep.
So this guy, he's got a long record of being pro Second Amendment for sure. So we need more Richard Hudsons in there.
We do. And again, going back to this other thing with the strike down of the bump stocks, the implication that will go away. The 80% rule will go away. A lot of things will go away because the ATF did not have the authority to do it. And the only way to do it is, as they said, through Congress. And right now, it's going to be pretty tough to get anything like that through the United States House of Representatives. It just is right now. Not because of McCarthy, but it'll be because of those 20 Patriots. They won't allow it to happen.
Yeah. So, Clay, we usually when we talk about celebrities and music singers and any of that kind of stuff, it's usually pretty negative, and we're bagging and ragging on somebody, right?
Yeah. Oh, usually.
Kevin, hey, Marty, Kevin said that sounds great.
Hey, Marty makes a great point here, too. He says everyone expects the NRA to do what our elected politicians won't do. It doesn't work that way. Again, weak-ass politicians. And that's a great point. And we don't hold their feet to the fire. I mean, we're seeing this right now in the state of North Dakota. What's happening right now? To kind of go down a different rabbit hole here. What's happening right now with the North Dakota GOP district committees, Jamie? It's the reorg, right?
Yeah, we're coming up Monday. I'm gonna be at mine for sure. District 35, baby.
And I'm going to be at mine.
Dr. Center was on the show this summer.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to be at District 31's up there at the 7 Cs. And I mean, traditionally about 30, 40 people, maybe 50 show up at these things.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
And nobody else cares. And, I've been out telling people about it. Hey, down in this area, you should attend this, get involved, and be active in it. Oh, that 100-mile trip's just too much. Well, then you get the government you deserve when you do not get involved at the local level. And that's the local level. That's the people who control and hold the offices in these district committees are the ones that are going to probably make the endorsements. They're going to go to Medora during the state meeting for the GOP and elect the chairman and the officers there.
Yeah.
And that's going to set the policy for the North Dakota GOP. And it ain't necessarily following the platform. The platform's good. Read the platform.
I was just laughing at a comment. Kevin said turtleneck Mitch.
That's right, the turtle. But anyway, that's what I'm getting at, guys. Get involved.
I'm going to expand on what Clay's saying a little bit. If you're pissed and you don't think you can do anything, I'm going to tell you this right now because I was the same way before I got involved. I will promise you this. You can make a huge difference by getting on your district committee. A small handful of people control politics in this state. I will promise you that. I think actually Jared told me that a long time ago. Jared Hendricks, and I first met him many years ago, and he was right. Once you get involved, and Clay's right. You get on these in my district, we have precinct committees. You could be a precinct captain, and then it goes from there. That's what we're going to elect. We're going to elect all our precinct committees, and then you get a captain of that precinct committee. And I don't really have a problem with our leadership in this district. But I mean, some new people might run. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I'll find out Monday.
You look at my district. I'll tell you flat out. There's 3 of us, me and 2 others, because they redistricted one out and one passed away. There were 5 of us out of that 15 member board that are probably the true conservatives. So, and that's pretty daunting. There ain't much you can do when you don't have anybody on your side there. And this is an opportunity, guys. You can change the course of District 31 in 6 days.
You get on your district committees, and you get enough people there who think like you're the one who endorses who's going to run in that district.
That's right.
Who gets the endorsement, who's on the committees, like Clay said. That's the easiest way. And it isn't like it's taking up a bunch of your time. Your committees meet a couple times a year. It's not, it's not even endorsing year for a state candidate. So we're not even having a state convention,
Yeah, they don't even want that. We had to really fight like hell to keep that.
Yeah.
The one we had last year, and then it was run so poorly. And well, you were there, Jamie. We saw the shenanigans. And, you guys, if you want to hold the guy accountable, the buck stops with the chairman, and that's Mr. Perry Schaefer. He is the chairman of the North Dakota GOP. He's from District 31. Not only that, he weaseled his way back onto our committee. He can't let go. So he sits in a committee, on the executive committee with me. Got himself appointed, guys, essentially. I mean, there was 3 of us that voted no, but it was, again, 15 people. It was a 12-3 vote.
Yeah.
That's how this runs. He's back on there, and our state senators, our chairman, tell me how that isn't a conflict of interest. This is why you need to get involved. Otherwise, it's just going to keep going on.
Lift your chin higher, baby. Let that boot get on it easy. So Marty's got that comment there. I'm looking at it and thinking about it. Everyone expects Gen Ray to do it. Yeah. You know what? Marty's 100% right, and I'll tell you what. The NRA takes a lot of shit for a few things they did, but for the most part, remember after Sandy Hook, Wayne LaPierre got up there, which everybody's like, Wayne LaPierre, that piece of Wayne LaPierre got up there in front of literally a pack of freaking wolves and stood up for our Second Amendment rights. Pretty freaking awesome. Yes, and I'm not saying Wayne hadn't done anything wrong, but I'm saying, and the NRA is not perfect, but for the most part, Marty's right. They do want the NRA. Well, what the hell is the NRA doing? Jesus, they're doing this and that in the NRA. Well, I thought you guys thought the NRA was a bunch of weak-spined, gutless compromisers. The NRA is still a big hammer, my friends. Make no mistake about that. There's good other organizations, but the NRA, you look at any article the leftists write, Clay, right? And then guess who's the first one they go after?
It's the NRA. We're the evil NRA. And I can tell you right now, on Capitol Hill, whether you're hearing from them publicly or not, the NRA is there. I know they're there. In fact, if you want to know the reality of it, there's one department they did not cut through all of this crap that was going on since China virus, when revenues went down for everybody. They didn't cut the ILA. They kept it at full steam ahead, and that was to make darn sure that nothing that they could stop. Remember, some things they're never going to be able to stop. No. When you're outnumbered in the House and you're outnumbered in the Senate, unless you got rhinos like McConnell, and we can go down the whole gamut there, you can't stop it, okay? You got to litigate it, kind of like they did in 1994 on the assault weapons ban. They litigated it so that it was minimal, it's sunsetted, and it sucked. But it expired, and everything went back to normal after that. Yeah. Without the NRA, that would never have happened, and we'd still only have 10-round magazines. We wouldn't have flash suppressor. We wouldn't have none of the things we got
You'd be
today.
waiting every time you bought a gun. You'd be waiting freaking 30 days. I mean, NRA's
Absolutely.
been around since the 1800s. They trust me. They know their way around some things here. So
And they've been doing this since 1960. Well,
yeah,
actually 1972 is when they officially formed ILA, if I remember.
yeah. So when you get mad, which trust me, I get mad about things. Clay gets mad about it. We all do. Sometimes, like Clay said, there's nothing you can change. And if they do
Right.
something, don't get all butthurt. I'm done. I'm not ever giving the NRA another freaking dime. Hey, whatever. Then you're cutting your own throat. I mean, you can give it to Gun Owners of America and Firearms Policy Coalition. I donate to them too. I'm a life member of the NRA. And full disclosure, Clay, the NRA doesn't give you and I a freaking penny for this. I wish, hey, NRA, if you're watching, Clay and I'd love to.
Yeah. I mean, I did work for him for 10 years, but that was the only paycheck I got.
Yeah, Clay was getting paid then for him, and I donated my time to him, which I gladly did. I was proud to be representing the NRA for sure.
But I can tell you, I never stopped being NRA. It was
Right.
I kind of missed the job, but yet I don't. I like being home.
Yeah, just say NRA to a leftist and watch the steam come out of their ears. And
Oh,
say
that's awesome.
GOA
Or
or something.
wear a hat like this.
Yeah.
You wear a hat like this. It's awesome. And
All right, Clay, let me hear that happy ending music. Would
Need
you?
a little happy ending intro doing?
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it, buddy.
A little segment we like to call Happy Ending of the Week. Never gets old.
Oh man! All right, real quick before I get to the happy ending, and if somebody tuned in and they're expecting to hear Marty was on for a little bit. We were having some audio. It was glitching out, and you know, hey, Marty said if it ain't working, I'm just gonna come out, and, get up. Which appreciate that. I would love to have Marty on. We're gonna do it again. He's like I said, he's gonna sit right next to me, and we're gonna make damn sure this is gonna work. So
that's right.
But anyways, yes. All right. The happy ending story of the week here comes to us from Tangipahoa Parish in Louisiana.
Ooh,
Deputies responded to reports of shots being fired at a residence of Klein Road just after 5 a.m. on a Sunday. Bobby Reams broke into a home in Hammond, Louisiana on Sunday morning before he was shot and killed by the woman who was inside protecting her children. When they arrived, deputies learned the suspect, Bobby Reams, I'm saying Bobby, it's Robert, but Bobby Reams, 51, of Hammond, Louisiana, forced his way into a home while armed with a lug wrench and a shovel. Inside the home was a woman and her 2 young children. During the break-in, Reams got into a physical altercation with the woman and was ultimately shot by her. Police said Reams was declared dead at the scene by Tangipahoa Parish Coroner's Office. Which, okay, that's the happy ending right there.
I say it right there. Assumes room temperature.
Yeah, a woman protecting herself, her home, and her children with a gun. Awesome. And did everybody a favor from rid of old Bobby Reams. So here's listen to old Bobby Reams here a little bit, though. Bobby Reams was on parole after being incarcerated for nearly 20 years for armed robbery.
Oh, wow. That did him that rehabilitated him.
That's not all, Clay. Police also said Bobby was connected to a carjacking that took place just an hour before he forced his way into the home on Sunday. Well, ma'am, I appreciate what you did to good old Bobby. And if somebody doesn't like that, you can KMA because that guy was a freaking drag on society. Good riddance to you, Bobby Reams.
Good riddance. Goodbye. Happy trails. So, Gene, he has to say, and you're right, we're going to run a little over
here.
Yeah,
let's hit on that a little bit. Since we're on happy endings,
I'm going to do one more obscene profit timeout and thank our sponsors, and then we'll go into that, and then we'll probably call it an evening.
Mm-hmm. Guns in the 701 is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call. 701-258-6308.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. All right. And again, thanks to our sponsor. We're going to have to recut them. I got to get rid of that NPR voice.
Well, I know we got some janks out in mine on Lowers too. I told Doug you were going to do that.
So Gene, he has the Houston guy needs an honorable mention. So does Keith. He's got Texas guy. So with that, I'm going to play the clip that I found it on the internet. So here it is. This is this guy doing what he does when he sees someone threaten you. Darn. One more to the head. There you go.
I got no problem with that.
I don't either. He's like, all right, here, let's get you your stuff back, everybody.
Yeah.
I know some music never goes away either. All right, so there it was. Someone came in, they made a threat. Now, I've heard reports of, it was a toy gun, maybe a pellet gun. I don't know if it was or not, but you know what? They would have still charged that guy with intent to rob with a deadly weapon or threaten with a deadly weapon, regardless of what it was, because of the manner he used it in. If you're going to walk in, especially into Texas, how stupid are you, and do that, there might be a darn good chance that someone's going to probably fight back and, take you out.
Yeah, Brian says, is this the anniversary of the guy at the church fair? I think it is actually, Brian.
It could be. I'd actually have to look up that date. Yeah, that was right at the beginning of the year, and how fitting, right? Another good guy with a gun did the right thing.
Keith says, even though the double tap at the end was excessive, Keith, it probably is. But you know what I say? We've been having excessive crime for so long. These bastards need to realize that this is going to be you if you start messing with it. Just like Bolsonaro did to them scumbags down in Brazil when he was in there. So
it was probably excessive to some. It didn't bother me in the least. I just me either.
Ruthless. I'm telling you.
I probably would have done the same
out
thing.
Too, he had a freaking thing of like pop or something when he walked out. He threw it on the guy. I was like, I mean, all right.
So yeah, Marty Beard here. He goes, I used to use chickens to fight in that parish.
I don't doubt it.
Hey, Lynette, you're right. Give them guys a call. They'll get you set up with blackout blinds. I have no doubt there. Give Wyatt and them guys a call. Him and her, they'll get you set up.
222 3932.
3932. There you go. He was already dead. Dakota. He was already dead before the double tap. Gene says, you're probably right, but
don't worry, he didn't mind. He didn't mind.
I don't know. Someone puts a gun, if I can't, especially, I don't know if it was real or not.
It wasn't. It was a fake gun, they said.
But if it looked real,
yeah, I don't care.
Sorry. I'm not going to have a lot of sympathy for you, and it probably ain't going to be a good day.
Yeah.
You're going to go meet one of the two makers.
If you want to act like a piece of shit, expect to get treated like one, I guess.
There you go. Yep.
So, okay, Friday, Clay and I are going to be on per usual. Mitchell in the morning, 8:40, KFYR 5:50 a.m. A lot of people like to know we're going to be talking about. We've been talking about animal attacks, right, Clay? Animals have been.
We have,
leave them alone and they'll do their thing. Well, guess what? A town in Colorado has had 15 dogs killed in 30 days. So we're going to go over that, number one. And, oh, boy, USA Today wants to have bullet regulation since, the gun bans and all their little fantasies aren't working, right?
It's like we said,
we're gonna
if you can't win legislatively, you'll regulate things, right?
Yeah. Democrats lose, they change the rules. Clay Peterson taught me that, and he's 100% right.
Hey, Vance. Yeah. Hey, that's Iraq's boys. They're down there hog hunting right now in Florida. We'll be joining them next year down there. So I see they're getting a few. glad you're listening. Say hi to Chris and John and Waylon. Waylon, not too much bush light, okay? Not too much.
Hey, Lynette, I just got a text message from the blind guy. They said blackout blinds are great for sun on flat screen TVs.
There we go. There we go. Get them set up.
Yeah, Doug and Lynette got a lot of windows out there on the west side, so I think that'd be awesome for them. So
Marty says, "Now bring me tacos." He'll probably make coon tacos. I mean, he's got a lot of raccoon meat around there.
Well, he said coon meat tastes like Wagyu.
Yeah, that's right. So, hey, your Uncle Dean's here.
Hey,
Supposed to ask the perpetrator if the gun is real before you shoot. He asked with his gun and took care of the problem.
Yeah, that's a rhetorical question. I know that.
Yes, it is. And we had Dean on when we were subbing over there at 1270 on Memorial Day, and that was a great interview. So yeah. All right, so, I interrupted you there, damn it.
No, well, so I'll just give you a little preview of some things Clay are going to hit on next week. I was going to hit on, like I said, we're always negative about singers and actors. We got a guy you're going to like. We're going to talk about that, and get ready, Clay. Get ready, buddy. I got a 10 question. How much do you know about rimfire ammo? Oh, we're gonna hit that with Clay. And Clay's this is gonna be Clay's deal here, because this is Clay's. I mean, I know some about it, but Clay's the man here. We got a new 4473 released by the ATF.
Yeah.
3 different questions on there. Clay's gonna get it for us. And oh man, CDC has removed statistics on defensive gun uses in the U.S. because it makes guns too good. So the CDC got rid of those. And if we get time, of course, we're going to have the happy ending. And if we have time, New Jersey newspaper is called the Second Amendment a Curse, and it's making it hard for state lawmakers to pass pro-safety legislation.
Yeah, I read that one. Yeah, I think you sent it to me.
Yeah, suck an egg. Hey, New Jersey, how about you suck an egg, huh? Or is that New York? I don't know. Something like that.
Either one.
Hey, Guido.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's we're gonna be. So night we're gonna hit that on Mitchell Friday, and that's gonna be what we're gonna hit next Wednesday. And
Jamie and I talked about it. So probably starting next month. Of course, we'll do the Midwest Badass. That's usually the first week.
Mm-hmm.
Probably that third week in February. I think
Crazy
we're going to
Horse
try
we're
to
doing.
do our. Well, I think we're going to try to do that. We talked about doing weapons of war. So it'll be kind of a new thing. I don't know if it'll be every month, but we're going to try to do that and bring a new segment to you. But yeah, I think we're going to do Crazy Horse for our badass of the Midwest Badass of the month in February. I think that'll be kind of fun.
Absolutely.
So I guess tune in tomorrow, Friday, guys. 7:40 Mountain Time, 8:40 Central Time on KFYR AM. That's over on dial to 550. We'll be on with Mitchell in the morning every Friday. We love getting on there. Oh, I should show you this. I finally got it loaded, guys.
Okay.
That's the shirt we made for Todd. And we put some stuff on the sleeves there.
Love that thing.
Yeah,
that is a sweet
a little
shirt.
better. Yeah, that was a lot of fun putting that together, and Todd loved it. I seen he had it on his page. So we got our rock with our butt on there and a mag.
30 clip assault magazine.
So
Clay and Danelle are working on a couple shirts for me too. So when Clay gets those on, he can throw those up too. And
I got a little bit to do to it, but I got I think the general design done for you, Jamie. And maybe we can. Maybe when we do our first weapons of war segment, you'll be able to wear it.
Yeah, love it. I'd love to do that. Yeah, So and if everybody, hey guys, tell everybody if they don't watch this, we're on iHeartRadio, the podcast, and basically every other podcasting platform out there. So if you don't listen to iHeart, okay, get a different one. But I suggest you get on iHeart. Was that a bump stock on that rock?
Yeah, they're coming back, didn't you hear? No. Someone called me badass of the month.
Oh yeah, awesome.
And we got a suggestion from one, and I like that one. That was Elmer Keith, and I'm going to look into him. He might be our March.
That was Marty's suggestion, actually.
I can tell you right now, I read his book. Hell, I was there. I'm telling you, that guy, he had a life. He did too. So
Yeah, we got 3-4 months of Midwest badasses coming up. So
and so we can have some fun
Yeah.
with that. And we're getting good reviews. Everybody I've talked to that
Mhm.
I know that listens are like, we really like that. That's something that nobody else has. So I'm glad you guys are liking it. If you don't like it,
Yeah.
tell us.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Like I said, next week Clay's getting the quiz, so let's get
Yeah,
it's,
great. Now I got homework.
Yeah, it's a 10-question thing, so I mean it's probably gonna take 15 minutes, but I mean I'd be more than happy you guys play along in the comments, but wait till Clay answers because I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want you giving him the damn answers.
And the 50 caliber bill, we did submit that. Senator Mangum submitted that now so that it can get a number addressed to it. So we'll have a Senate bill number for you soon on that. I knew there's another one that's coming that I just saw today. I don't remember the number of it off the top of my head, but
Mhm.
it's in the House. I know Brandon Picard and a few others brought it forth, where if you defend yourself, under our new standard law, your standard ground law, essentially, or anywhere, and they charge you with something anyway, and then you go to court and you are found not guilty by reason of self-defense, guess what? State's got to reimburse you for your court costs and expenses, everything related to your defense.
Good.
I like that bill.
Good.
So that'll probably be another one you and I will have to be there testifying on because that's how it should be. It'll make them think twice about charging you. And that would actually maybe put it ain't going to be as big a deal maybe around here. But you get over in that Cass County area, around Fargo and in there.
Yeah, Minnesota.
I could see some DA. That'd be Western Minnesota. Anyway, I could see some dumbasses over there, liberals, going, "We don't care. We're going to charge you anyway with murder, self-defense, regardless what the state law says." So I like the
video.
bill.
Real quick, God dang, I know we go long, but I got to say this real quick about that Texas video. So why did you have to shoot him so many times? Who gives a shit? The guy freaking was sticking guns in everybody's faces. He ended the threat.
It's the age-old question. Why did you shoot him 7 times? Because I didn't have 8.
Yeah,
I didn't
don't
have
care.
9.
You keep shooting, and until you're in that situation where somebody's sticking a gun in your face and you have to pull your gun out to do that. I mean, it's hard. These guys going to go in court now. If he goes to court, I don't think he will in Texas because of their law. But I mean, you can sit there and litigate this crap. Well, what I would have done, really, that's what you would have done. How the hell would you know if somebody sticks a gun in your face?
I've been fortunate enough. I've only had to pull mine 3 times, and I guarantee you, I meant to use it. I made that decision when I pulled it. It's a horrible feeling because you just made the decision to end someone's life.
Brian, that might be all the ammo he had.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, was that Grady Judd said that in Florida, right? When that guy killed them 2 sheriffs or whatever, and they caught him in the woods. He had like 100 bullets in him, and they said, "Why'd you shoot him with 100?" And he said, "Because we didn't have 120."
That's right. Well,
yeah. See, Kelsey's got that's right. It sends a clear message to thugs. These pieces of shit have been getting away with. I'm using a lot of S-bombs.
I know there's one guy on here, well, 2 guys probably for sure that have probably faced certain things here, and one of them is going to be Keith, and the other one was probably Kelsey, if I remember right. And I'm telling you, and Dean, your Uncle Dean, so that makes 3. But we've got guys that listen to this that have been in combat. They'll tell you. They will. They probably get frustrated with the rules they have to follow, rules of war.
Well, remember what I told you about Travis's dad over on Okinawa there?
That's right.
Got shot in the ass, so they turned around and they found out where the Japanese soldier was hiding inside the barrel, and the stand popped it open. About 3-4 of them dumped their whole ground hold 10 rounds, right? 10 or 8.
Just
dumped
unloaded.
The whole clip right in all of them did. And I said, "What happened?"
And those are real
nothing. So we made hamburger out of the son of a bitch.
That's right. There was no more problems, was there?
You don't want to. If you don't want to get shot and multiple times, I don't care. Then don't go sticking guns in people's faces.
Gene, why do you carry a 45? Because I don't carry a 46.
I like that, Gene. That's a good
one.
Close
though. You got a 460.
Yeah. Isn't that what Mitchell shot that can of corn with there? I seen that thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it was.
If you guys ever get bored because you can't shoot in the winter, you can go on to either our www.gunsinthe701.com or our YouTube page has all of them on there. All our shooting videos.
Yep. I think our webpage does too. But yeah, hit our YouTube channel. That's pretty easy to get to.
I had a nice shot on a tree eating dog
You did.
herding and cattle wreck and varmint this last weekend. Turn the lights out,
Yes,
baby.
you did. And I got some new footage. Eric gave me some new footage here when he was here. So I've been editing some of that. I've been working on your pheasant video forever.
I was just gonna say, man, we're still waiting for that pheasant video.
I know. I got into some of the music I had put to it.
Yeah.
Well, when I went and tried to upload, it says it was copyrighted, and I bought the license for it. I mean, it was like $1.50. So I might just find different music and say the hell with it, and then I can get it posted rather than go through that battle with them. So.
Right.
But yeah, no, and there is, if you're in the Bismarck Mandan area, I mean, you got a couple different ranges there you can go check out indoor. Well, one for sure. I don't know if there's two anymore, but I know there's one for sure there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
well, guys, we're running long, but
Yep.
we're holding the numbers holding, so that's pretty good. And I'm glad everyone's still listening. But
again, just real quick, I'll say Marty was on earlier. We had some audio difficulties. I don't know. Clay and I got.
Hey, a
we
little
always have
update
problems
here.
with- Yeah.
And this just come from Gene. He said the news just said that the Texas shooter stuff is going to a grand jury, so that could go either way.
Yeah.
Really good.
So yeah, Marty was on. We had he was glitching out, so we had to end that and go on with the show. We'll get him back on. He's going to be in person, and apologize for that. But
Marty can be
Marty
will be a common guest here. I'm
yeah,
assuming
for sure. Marty's an awesome guy, full of knowledge. He can keep us up to date on what's going on with his buddies in Brazil. You know, keep your fingers crossed. Pray for those guys down there.
And I tell you what, send some prayers, guys. It's kind of disheartening to hear that they haven't heard from him since those videos I showed. That's the last I heard from these guys.
Yeah, I mean that's scary. They could be, you know, how stuff goes down there. They're like cartels down there.
Yeah, so it's a different world down there. But with that, we will be on Friday morning on K-Fire, 5:50 a.m. with Mitchell in the morning, 7:40 Mountain, 8:40 Central. And we'll see you all again here next Wednesday for episode 25. Can't believe that.
Love it.
Should be January 18th. So we'll see you guys next week on Guns in the 701. Check us out on iHeart. Get your podcasts. Yep. And guys, don't forget, keep your powder dry.